Hello, dear American students. You are going to have an opportunity to get some linguistic guidance from an Indian linguist. Dear students from America as well as India, I want you to learn something very important when it comes to passing sentences. Dear American students, I know it very well that you belong to an English speaking nation. But at the same time, if you are really interested in finding out some nooks and crannies of English language, you need to join this grand Indian channel, which can make you learn many things which are really important from linguistic point of view. So let's start reading out the Washington Post for you all guys, and we are going to start with a front page story, and this story is here for all of you. This is the front page story. January 6 panel subpoenas 5 GOP lawmakers. Let's find out what is the incident. What was the happening behind it? January 6 panel, which was constituted by the American Parliament, hand over legal notices. Subpoena here stands for legal notices. And here this word is used as a verb. And January 6 panel here is used as a subject. Dear students, as you know that we are going to let you know structural understanding of English sentences. So January 6 panel subpoenas means served legal notices to 5 GOP lawmakers. And as you know it very well that lawmakers stand for parliamentarian. Lawmakers stand for parliamentarians. Sorry. McCarthy and colleagues in House refused to cooperate voluntarily. Who refused to cooperate voluntarily? McCarthy and colleagues. McCarthy and his colleagues in House had refused to cooperate voluntarily. Here it means this statement means McCarthy and his colleagues were not willing to cooperate. Let's find out the inside story. The US House Committee investigating the January 6, 2021. Dear students, as you know, this is subject here, the US House Committee. So the real subject here is committee. And other words are here in modifying nature like the US House. All these three words are modifying this noun as a subject. Thereafter, investigating the January 6, 2021 incident is being investigated by this committee. So this phrase is here as an adjectival phrase. Dear students, as you know it very well that whenever we have some subjects or objects of a sentence, we must know the constitution of subject and object, how subject and object are framed. Let's have a talk here. Subject, object. Usually subject and object are taken to be nouns or pronouns. But as we know it very well, that nouns carry with themselves some adjectives, adjectival phrases, and adjective clause. That's why sometimes we have very long subjects and objects, including more than 40 words or 50 words. So here the subject is the US House Committee, adjectival phrases investigating the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol by a pro-Trump mob on Thursday, announced. This is the verb here. So on Thursday, the US, from the US to on Thursday. These words are playing here the role of a subject. But when we analyze this subject pattern, we see committee is the real subject and rest of the words are working here as modifying committee. Announced is the main verb, uh, second form of the verb, which means this is past indefinite. Announced that it's subpoenaed. US House Committee announced that it subpoenaed, that it served legal notices to 5 Republican members of Congress. So legal notices have been served to 5 Republican members of Congress, including House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, whose nickname is Caliph, after they refused, when Kevin and his colleagues refused to cooperate with the panel's inquiry. What does it mean here? Let's find out. The first paragraph of the news is here, making it clear that Kevin McCarthy and his colleagues who were served legal notices or subpoenaed were not willing to cooperate with the panel's inquiry, with the panel's investigation. Republican Benny G. Thompson, D. Miss, whose nickname is D. Miss, who chairs the select committee, who is the president, who is the chairperson of the select committee, G. Thompson, said. That is here as a conjunction, said is a main verb, and due to this second form, this sentence is in past indefinite. That here is a conjunction. The panel is here subject, subpoenaed is here V2, means past indefinite. The panel subpoenaed McCarthy and Republicans Mo Brooks Allah and Andy Biggs. These are the names of those Republicans who were given legal notices. Scott Perry and Jim Jordan. The move here means the step marks a significant escalation. It indicates a significant increase in the committee's efforts. Escalation here stands for increase. Committee's efforts to obtain information, to get information related to lawmakers' communication. So here the move is subject, marks as a verb, a significant escalation as an object. In the committee's efforts is here as an adverbial phrase, to obtain information, adverbial phrase, related to lawmakers' communication is an adjectival phrase for the very noun information related to lawmakers' communication with President Donald Trump. So, in a nutshell, we can say that This step was an effort from the side of the committee to obtain information related to lawmakers' communication with President Donald Trump. It means here that the committee wanted to know what type of communication was held in between lawmakers, parliamentarians, and President Donald Trump and White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows before. So there were three parties: Mark Meadows, the Chief of Staff from White House, Donald Trump President, and lawmakers. What was the communication in between these three parties? The committee wanted to know. The committee wanted to seek information. All five of the Republican lawmakers subpoenaed, all five, whose name are mentioned above, all five Republican lawmakers subpoenaed. They were given legal notices. Subpoena here means legal notices. Thursday have declined. They refused. Declined stands for refuse. Declined to voluntarily provide information to the committee. This paragraph of the news means that those who were given legal notices by the committee were not willing to cooperate. They were not ready to render any information to the committee. They declined to cooperate willingly. In a statement, Thompson said, the committee has learned that several of our colleagues, the committee has learned. Here, learned means the committee came to know that several of our colleagues have information, that they had some information relevant to our investigation. That information which was linked to investigation. Investigation means probe. Some of the students from India can get bored because they don't have that access of comprehension. But if they stay with us, if they follow me regularly, they can also get connected with me by understanding words, sentences. Let's move on to another news. Let's move to another piece of news. This is again a very important piece of news from American point of view. Moves to join NATO. Finland moves to join NATO. Finland has taken a step to join NATO. Finland is interested in joining NATO. Russian aggression changes calculus. Russian aggression changes calculus means here Russian aggression, the way of fighting changed many things. Boost to block would also deepen east-west divide. And if it is boosted, this effort is boosted, boost block would also deepen. If we boost block means here NATO, also deepen east-west divide. It will deepen east-west divide. I'm not going to speak any word in Hindi because I want you all to understand each and every explanation which I am sharing with you, because you need to have that much level in order to crack any exam which are held in India. At the same time, I am really interested enough to address those students who are in secondary schools, universities from America. They also must get global in order to get some guidance from Indian experts, from Indian linguists. Good afternoon, everyone, guys. Good afternoon. Finland must seek immediate Finland must seek immediate membership in NATO. Finland subject must helping verb, seek main verb, immediate adjective, membership noun in NATO adverbial phrase. Finland must seek immediate membership in NATO. Leaders of the Nordic nation said this statement is passed by leaders of Nordic region on Thursday, moving to end 7 decades outside the Western military bloc. Here it means that Finland has been out of this bloc, NATO bloc, which is taken to be the Western military bloc. Another name for NATO is the Western military bloc. And Finland has been out of this bloc for 7 decades. For 7 decades. In response to Russia's war in Ukraine. And the move has been taken by Finland in response to Russia's war in Ukraine. Finland's entry would add significant combat power. Finland entry would increase significant combat power, significant combat fighting power, substantial fighting power to the alliance. Alliance here means NATO. So the very entry of Finland will definitely increase substantial fighting power of the NATO while also deepening the East-West divisions. And this move will deepen the East-West divisions that have consumed Europe. Since Russia's Feb 24 invasion. Again, I am going to read it out for you. Finland's entry would increase substantial fighting power to the alliance, means NATO, while also deepening the East-West divisions, and it will deepen East-West division also that have consumed Europe. This division has consumed Europe since Russia's February 24 invasion. Neighboring Sweden is expected to announce its own NATO bid soon. Another country which is interested in joining NATO is Sweden. Sweden is expected to announce its own NATO bid soon. Sweden is also going to announce very soon that it is interested in joining NATO. Finland has taken the move. So dear student, if we analyze each and every piece of news from the Washington Post, and if students from America come across these videos, please let me know whether you're interested that the pieces of news incorporated in the Washington Post to be analyzed by an Indian linguist. Please make a comment so that I can come forward with some more videos like this, and you will definitely get benefit of the very analysis of structures, the very analysis of phrases and clauses from an Indian linguist. So dear students from America, from Britain, and from around the globe, those who are interested in learning structural understanding of parts of speech like subject, object, adverbials, adverbial phrases, adjectives, adjectival phrases, please join my channel. Any student around the globe can join my channel for understanding these things. Mr. Jitendra, what do you want to know by writing these things? I teach each and everything like pronoun, relative adverb, defining, non-defining adjective clauses, in apposition. I teach everything. If you really want to know anything about these things, you can undergo my fundamental batches where you will get these things in detail. Mr. Jitin, can you hear me? Mr. Jitin, nothing is in language which I can't explain in detail. So whenever you put a question, you just put a question with an aim of learning more and more instead of finding out what I can teach or what I can't. 5 hours of chaos and panic outside school in Upper NW. Another piece of news. This is a local news. This is a local piece of news. 5 hours of chaos. Chaos means disorder, and panic means fear outside a school in Upper NW. 3 weeks after the shooting, 3 weeks after the shooting, new details emerge about that day. Mr. Jitin, is it possible for if I put a question? I'm dealing with a newspaper, and if you put so many questions, is it possible for me to explain in one go? You will have to meet me, you will have to join my fundamentals in order to know the details of these things, because what you want to know, I can tell you more than that. The motive behind reading this newspaper was that if you learn English with RKENGLISH Oracle, you can visit any country of the globe, you can interact with any native speaker of any country, and at the same time, you can read any newspaper of any country without any hindrance. When the first booms ripped along the line of bumper to bumper cars waiting for students leaving the Edmundburg School for the day, William James Peterson thought construction scaffolding had collapsed. So when there was first booms ripped along the line of bumper to bumper car waiting for students leaving the Edmundburg School for the day, William James Peterson thought he thought construction scaffolding had collapsed, something had collapsed, but a deafening second round of blast. But deafening second round of blast left the military trained veteran DC police officer with no doubt. I mean, military police officer had no doubt that it was a gunfire. It was nothing. It was only gunfire. So the police officer had no doubt. He concluded that it was gunfire. He sprinted from a garage to a lane between buildings, and he ran very fast from a garage to a lane between building. Sprint, run very fast. So he ran very fast from a garage to a lane between. Parents picking up their children forms. Throwing on his protective vest, Drawing his firearm and breathing heavily, he keyed up an alert tone on his radio. Key up. He started an alert tone on his radio. 4101. 4101 Connecticut Avenue. He told a dispatcher at 3:18 p.m. I believe we have an active shooter here. The police official gave a message. I believe we have an active shooter here. Get me units to respond. Peterson starting his off-duty security job at the school. Peterson starting his off-duty security job at school in Van Ness area of Northwest Washington. Jitendra, one point you are coming across here right now. This is case and apposition. This is case and apposition. After a noun, when some information is put in between commas, that is called case and apposition. So if you stay with me for some time, or if you follow my videos for 1 month or two, you will come to know about all these things. Relative pronoun, relative adverb, relative clause, defining non, all these things are very simple, and you will learn everything in detail if you really follow and if you stay with us. Crouched behind a pillar as bullets crashed into cars. First of all, what the trend we find out in Indian students and teachers, they are not in mood to learn something new. Instead, they are in mood to find out what you don't know. The problem is that they don't feel that when you can learn these things in 2 or 3 years or 5 years, 10 years, why a person with 20 years experience can learn these things in an easy manner and can teach people in easy manner. Bullet crashed into cars in front of him and shattered the glass on a walkway. And shattered the glass because of gun firing. Glasses were shattered on a walkway above that links the middle and high school building. Even if he didn't know where the bullets were coming from, the 49-year-old officer knew. Burial sites at 53 Indian schools so far. Let's find out again. Yeah, another thing which is very important. Please stay. Burial sites. Burial sites means the places where dead bodies are cremated. Burial sites means where dead bodies are cremated. So burial sites at 53 Indian schools so far. Interior Department estimate thousands died in federal custody. Interior Department in America is similar to Home Ministry in India. Interior Department in America is similar to Home Ministry in India. So Interior Department of America estimates 1,000 died in federal custody. It assumes that thousands of people got killed in federal custody. The Department of the Interior this week said it estimated thousands or tens of thousands. The Department of the Interior this week said it guess. It estimated thousands or tens of thousands of Native American, Native Alaskans, Native Hawaiian children had died in the custody of federal Indian boarding school. So the Department of the Interior stated that thousands, tens of thousands students had died in the custody of federal Indian boarding school. where these children died in the custody of Federal Indian Boarding School. Casualties of an assimilation policy that separated children from their families to strip them of their luggage, language, and culture. Casualties of an assimilation policy. These casualties were because of assimilation policy. There was an assimilation policy which or that separated children from their families. This assimilation policy separated children from their families, and what was the aim of it? To strip them of, to deprive them of. Strip them of means deprive them of their language and culture. The revelation was part of a report that attempts to catalog the scale of the system and abuses that occurred. Inside school, intended to re-educate the children. Intention was to re-educate children. Officials identified 53 schools that had marked or unmarked burial sites. Marked, identified, unmarked, unidentified cremation sites containing the remains of children, and these sites had the remains, dead bodies of children who died at schools often far from home. Who died at schools often far from home. The agency documented 500 deaths in 19 of the schools. The agency documented 500 deaths in 19 of the schools. So, guys, please let me know by making a comment whether you liked this way of teaching the Washington Post or not, whether you liked this analysis of Washington Post or not. Please let us know so that we can get encouraged to bring some more videos like this. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching.